The business of the bureaucrat is not business as usual. Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and a while back I was doing a fellowship at MIT, and we had a speaker come in from industry who said something that really stuck with me. He said, if you want to be successful in business, be the chief financial officer's best friend. Now, what he meant was that your actions need to clearly contribute to the generation of profits. And if you're in a private business, that basically means you have two options, because profits are just the result of revenue minus expenses. So if you want to make a name for yourself, what you have to do is either increase revenue or reduce expenses. And of course, one of the ways that people measure the relationship between revenue and expenses is through return on investment. It's all pretty basic, right? Well, when you get into the bureaucracy, a problem starts to form with this simple mental model, and it all has to do with revenue. In a business, revenue comes from sales. Customers choose to pay for a good or service. A successful businessman can increase revenue by convincing more customers to buy their good or service, or by getting existing customers to pay more. In fact, there is no limit to how much you can increase revenue. But there is a limit to how much you can cut expenses. So, as a rule of thumb, revenue is the golden road to success. But in the government, revenue comes from taxpayers who don't actually choose the goods and services that their money is going to buy. And so this mental model starts to morph. Revenue, taxes, are equivalent to expenses. And a couple things start changing what it means to be the CFO's best friend. First, the only real thing you can do to improve the bottom line is to cut spending. That means you deliver the same results at a lower cost so that the unspent revenue can be used to buy more goods and services. And second, you completely lose that nice, simple ROI calculation. Instead, the bureaucrat becomes responsible for communicating the benefit that taxpayers receive for the money that's taken from them. See, in the business scenario, the customers have already made their own valuation when they chose to purchase the good or service. So what? Well, unfortunately, it is not enough for a bureaucrat to know the difference between these two models. To be really successful, you're going to have to navigate the fact that other people don't know the difference. And I'm not just talking about the major who shows up from some MBA program. I mean, you can just sit him down and explain it to him. The real trick is that political appointees are often extremely successful business people who have built their career on internalizing this mental model and delivering on it. And you don't get to just sit them down and explain the difference to them. Instead, you have to meet their needs, that is, reduce costs and articulate value, even when they don't explicitly communicate those needs. So the advice of be the CFO's best friend, well, it's still valid, but you have to change how you go about doing that. Now, to see another way that understanding what the higher-ups really need can help make you successful, watch this video.